ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, aliens and whatever else there is out there. Welcome in once again to the dungeon of the Doctors of Doom, where I am your host, Alex the Shark Sparks, and joining me is someone who may as well be my new co-host because he shows up more than everybody else. Give it up for our sponsor, Chris, I Object Lee. Say hello to all the devils out there, Chris.
Hello.
Now, Chris, I'm feeling parched. I don't know about you. When you're parched, is there ever anything that you wish you had handy that you could just take a sip of, to maybe take the edge off a little bit?
Man, when I'm parched, I don't know what it is, but I love a nice glass of Casamigos with some ice.
Yeah, man, Casamigos tequila. I well documented that I don't drink, but if I was going to, that's what I'd drink.
Yeah. It's so funny, Alex. I did not know that about you. And
Wait, really?
yeah, and I totally, I don't know what it is. I just love Casamigos. It's the number one thing that I go for when I'm parched, especially on a hot summer day. Nothing beats a glass of tequila with ice.
Ooh, yeah. Talking my language, like I said, if I drank, that'd be where I'd go to. So, anywho, that's neither here nor there. No reason we're talking about that at all. Let's move on to the pod. So, Chris, welcome back. Glad to have you here. Like we talked about, kind of in the dead zone of sports right now. We talked about news last week with regards to the NFL. So basically, and then there's nothing going on in other sports. So really, the only thing that we have to talk about this week on the pod is what has happened within the last week. So I've got a couple stories that I can talk about, and then I've got maybe a game or two we can play to fill time. Not saying, just saying. But before I do, was there anything on your mind? You are our chief golf correspondent, and you are back with us again. Anything that's on your mind, not necessarily about golf, but anything that you wanted to bring up?
No, I mean, yes and no. I just want to give a shout out to the Padres. They lost today, but they're on an absolute tear, won 8 of the last 10, making that playoff push. And the reason I mention that is I will be at the game on Sunday with who I'm told is a co-host, Mitchell Black. No idea where he is, but I hope he shows up to the game on Sunday.
Interesting. So you're banking on the co-host of the show, who hasn't made it to an episode of the show in like a month and a half, for a 1-hour taping of a podcast, to show up for a full baseball game? That's a bold strategy, Cotton.
I bought tickets, so I'll be effing pissed if he's not there.
I mean, he is known to show up places last minute, so maybe by 8th inning he'll show up.
There you go. Yeah, we'll watch Mason Miller pitch hopefully and go from there.
But yeah, I mean, good for your pods, obviously. In baseball, it's a long season, and still a ways to go, right? Playoffs start September, right? So still got one more month left, right, before regular season
October.
wraps up?
So last game I think is like September for the Padres. It's September 27th.
Yeah. Okay.
But even with winning 8 of the last 10, they are still one spot out of the playoffs, which is the wild card rather. And 3 teams get into the wild card these days. So hoping that they continue to play strong and make a push into the wild card, because it was a little bleak there for a couple of months.
That's a good question, Chris. So I got a question for you, Chris, with regards to baseball. Do you still feel like it's an accomplishment to make that like effectively play-in game? Because it's not like a real series, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I think the play-in game is kind of BS.
It is a playoff game because it's literally a win or go home, but it's not really making the playoffs. So I guess that's what do you still feel the same sense of if you obviously, look, I understand it'd be disappointing if the Padres make this big come from behind to make the play-in game and lose that game. Obviously that doesn't feel good, right? But I'm saying when you look back on it after some time passes, do you still feel like that was a big accomplishment to make that comeback, go on that run to make it to the play-in game when it's not the same as making it to the playoffs?
No, but if the MLB's goal was to keep more fans interested, they have achieved that goal. Because, if we're talking about just 1 or 2 wild cards, actually probably just 1 wild card making it in, it would still be a tall climb, or a tall mountain for the Padres to climb. But with the 2 extra spots, you're looking at the pods and you're like, hey, they could make it. So it keeps the interest in there, keeps people going to the games. There's a lot of buzz in San Diego about it. So I'm assuming, the MLB's goal was to keep more interest through August and September, and they've achieved it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I definitely understand why the leagues do it, right? I get it from that standpoint, especially, and I get it from the standpoint of if it's your team that's the one in the running. But I just think overall it waters it down a little bit. Like I know personally, I one of the reasons I like the NFL so much, I mean, obviously the sport's great, but the fact that for a very long time, 12 of 32 teams make the playoffs. Little better than 1 in 3 chances to make the playoffs. And then you go to basketball, 16 of 30, which is now 20 of 30 teams make the playoffs. And it's like, okay, that's 2/3 as opposed to 1/3. Like that's a significant difference as far as like the achievement involved. So, and then baseball used to be very similar to football, where like only 8 teams made the playoffs. It's crazy. And now they've expanded that, obviously, but I think eight wasn't enough. I agree, but maybe going a little overboard with these one and done playing games. But
I agree. Make it like a 3-game series, especially.
Yeah, let it be a 3-game series. I'm with that. Yeah, if you're gonna do it, like give it some weight.
Yeah, and like in baseball, literally, and like the worst team could beat the best team in one game.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I mean, when you look at these records, it's like, okay, who's the worst team right now? The Angels. Yeah, Angels are 43-70. I bet you at least one of those 43 wins came against a top tier team.
Exactly. So when it gets that close, it's kind of weird to have the play-in games, but again, it keeps 2 cities a little bit more vested through August and September, and the MLB has that's probably what they wanted, and I think they've succeeded in that.
I don't know, and no shade to you, Chris. I don't know if San Diego was the market they were wanting to keep in it, though, to be honest with you. I think they might have wanted a bigger market to be that spot making the push, but fair enough. Fair enough.
That's true. I will say behind the Padres is the Miami Marlins, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Washington Nationals.
I feel like all 4 of those were probably bigger markets than San Diego, California.
Ouch.
Hey, I'm not knocking the city. I like San Diego. I'm not knocking the team. I'm just saying as far as market share, if you're going for ratings, I don't think you're stoked that you've kept San Diego in it.
Yeah, I mean, West Coast bias. I think it's always interesting when the San Diego's in it, but that's definitely my bias for sure.
Yeah. So you guys are going to the game on Sunday. I feel like you might be a little biased. All right. We can move on from baseball. Any other sports you wanted to touch on before I got into some NFL news?
No. LPGA just had their last major. Not familiar with who won it. It was interesting. There were only 2 major winners going into this past week. Nelly Korda won 2. Heijin Ryu, I think is her name. She had won 2. So it was a big question as to either of those players would win the 3rd major this season. But I think conditions were pretty brutal out there. It was the British Open. Conditions get windy. The course gets firm and fast, and apparently it was carnage out there. Interestingly enough, though, the winner did win in an 8-hole playoff, which is pretty epic.
That is pretty epic. That's the one thing I will say. Even a sport or a leisure activity where where the individual plays themselves are maybe not as high octane or entertaining as others, when something unique or special happens, it can be really fun to watch. It's kind of like in baseball, right? Like, if you ask me, hey, Alex, like, going to the game's one thing. That's totally cool. But, like, if you said, hey, Alex, you want to sit down and watch this baseball game on TV? No. But if you called me and said, hey, so-and-so's got a no-no going through the 5th inning, I'm turning that game on and I'm watching every pitch. Right?
That's true.
It's like, when there are certain things in these sports that, like, they do make them more interesting. So, in golf, like, do I want to sit down and watch, a golf tournament? No. But if you told me, hey, these two are going to a playoff hole, and then, okay, I may not watch that, but you're like, hey, Alex, they're on the 4th playoff hole? All right, I got to watch this. I got to see who gets this done.
It's like the tiebreaker in a major in tennis, right?
Yeah.
Am I going to watch the entire 4-hour match? No. But once I hear it's, 6-5 and, they're fighting for the title, I'm going to turn it on and see them battle it out to the bitter end.
100%, for sure. It makes it so much more entertaining. I mean, but it's like that in all sports, right? Like, if you called me and told me there was some epic college football game that's going to triple overtime, back when overtimes were good, right? I'm not talking about now where it's like, hey, we go for 2. Back when they played real overtimes where you had to score each time from the 25 and all that, those games that went 6-7 overtimes, those are so epic. I would love to watch that. Whereas like if it's one of those Appalachian State gets bombed by Ohio State 70-3, I have no interest in that game.
I agree. So let me ask you a question, Alex.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think I'm going to agree with you here. Is overtime better or worse these days than it was in the past?
Oh, it's well, it depends on the sport. I will say that, but like college football, the one I referenced, that is 100% worse. It was much better before in college football, where you kept going until somebody tripped. Not hey, one play decides it all. I think pro football overtime, you could argue, is better because of the fact that now the other team gets a chance to score, and it's not just okay, you got the kickoff and you kicked a field goal after gaining 20 yards, you win. So I think pro football overtime is better. I think college football overtime is worse. Hockey made that change where when they go to overtime, once they get to a set overtime, they drop down to, I think, like 4-on-4 instead of 5-on-5. I think that's a good change, because it increases scoring, but you're still playing the game. So, like, there are some things that make it more interesting and some that make it less interesting. So it just depends on the sport.
Yeah, I tend to agree. It's interesting, like the big sports like hockey, football, and including baseball. I think it's interesting when they put runners on first and third. It adds a little bit
Oh,
of
yeah,
strategy.
I forgot to talk about that one. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean the big ones, I feel like they've improved with time, but some of the other sports, I feel like they're just not as good as they were in the past.
I will say that the baseball one, I both like and dislike. So as Chris mentioned, they have a runner on first and third to start the inning basically. So it increases the chance to score, and that's good. But I think to me it really matters on what kind of game it is. If it's one of those, hey, it's tied at 9, like it's 9-9 at the end of the game, we're going to the 10th inning. Okay, sure, there's a ton of scoring, but guys on base. Let's see who scores more. But if it's a 1-1 tie in a pitcher's duel, I don't want them getting a free runner on third base. I want to see who wins this pitcher's duel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but these days you don't even have pitcher duels because of, the way they were
Well,
playing
yeah, it's
pitcher.
more bullpen pitcher duels
Yeah,
nowadays than individual. But
yeah.
but still, I mean, it's still epic when you hear about a bullpen that throws a no hitter, even if it's not one guy. I mean, obviously, look, one guy's more epic, but it's still cool when group of guys doing it together or whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's just interesting to me. I agree with you. Like the major sports, in my opinion, have seemed to make it a little bit more like action packed and interesting. Whereas I feel like some of the other sports, like golf, for example, the U.S. Open used to be an 18-hole playoff. They've reduced that severely, and I don't know, it just doesn't seem as interesting to me.
Yeah, I think it just has to do with what they think will put eyes on the screen.
Hmm.
Um, it's kind of like a long time ago, soccer. The World Cup it'd be golden goal when you went to. They still talk about it now. Whenever they go to overtime in a World Cup game, they're like, "Hey, just a reminder, this isn't golden goal." And for those who don't know, that just means next goal wins, right? It's not if you score you win the game. No, you have to play the full 30 minutes of overtime. So you're getting more soccer out of it, but it does kind of like, I don't know, it takes away a little bit from the, oh, if anyone scores, it's over, like in hockey. Like that, there's nothing cooler than a hockey overtime game where the puck ends up in the net and you're like, oh man, it's over. Like that's it, game over. It doesn't matter if the other team had been better the whole time. If you net the puck, you win. Right?
Yeah,
So
you can't get me started on soccer overtime rules.
yeah. Okay, then I don't want to do that. But yeah, so there's pros and cons to different ones. I think the one that's taking the biggest L though is definitely college football. They had one of the better overtime systems, and they just completely ruined it.
Agreed.
The last thing I want is a group of, I mean, it's not 52-man rosters in college, it's like an 85-man roster. The last thing I want is these 200 kids, kids and coaches combined out there battling for hours trying to win, and then it comes down to a single play. Not because a single play in regulation, but a single like, okay, we're going for two, their trick play worked, hopefully yours does.
Yeah, I agree with that, especially because they don't have a lot of time to practice those either with the restrictions on practice and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There used to be some epic college overtime battles, and like, who cares if it's going into the wee hours of the night, Like, that makes it even better.
Yeah, like, don't, look, I get it if you're watching Liberty versus Wake Forest, you're like, please let this game end, right? But most of the time, if it's a televised game, give me 12 OTs. I want them all.
Man, Liberty and Wake Forest catching strays.
Yeah, sorry guys. They're just the ones that came into my head. Pop. I was like, okay, what small schools that pop in my head?
For those fans listening.
Hey, the Demon Deacons I got no beef with. I don't even know what Liberty's mascot is. So, all right. Well, they got Limu the Emu. Liberty, probably. Okay. All right. We'll transition to some actual football stories. So these are the football stories of the week. Well, I mean, there's more, but these are the ones that I found articles on that I wanted to talk about. So first up, Falcons paying Robinson. Their running back, B-Rob, has signed a 3-year, $75 million deal. $51 million of that is guaranteed. Historically speaking, paying your running back is not the pathway to success. So, Chris, I have to ask you, was this a good move by the Falcons? Because basically it just felt like, hey, we finally freed up this ridiculous money that we paid to Kirk Cousins. What can we lock it up in now instead of using it for other things?
Yeah, that's a tough one, man. I'm probably the most maybe I'm projecting here, but I feel like I'm the most pro pay your RBs on this pod. I know one of our co-hosts, Mitch, is extremely against it. But I'm for the player, right? Like if he needs to get his bag, like it's now, and I think he proved it. Is it good for the team, and is it good for the salary cap and everything they're trying to do? I don't know, right? There's a lot of mouths to feed. They've got two quarterbacks who I'm not so sure about in Penix Jr. and Tua Tagovailoa. So it's like you wish that I don't know. Maybe they think one of the two is the answer. I personally don't, and you would hope that they're thinking about their future and who they're going to have at quarterback. But good for Bijan is all I can say.
Yeah, I think that's well. First of all, I do want to say I am always going to be pro player. I'm never going to be pro management. So I want the players to go get their money. That being said, when I'm evaluating the deals, I'm evaluating it from the standpoint: is this the best thing for the team? So while I'm happy for him personally and have no beef with him, I do think the Falcons made a mistake by doing this. I mean, keep in mind, it's not like his contract was up. He was still going to be in his rookie deal. They still could have had him for a couple more seasons without having to do this, right? And like you said, Chris, this is a team that's a quarterback away. Now, I know you can say, like, people say that a lot, but, like, this is actually a team that has, like, they have a decent defense. They've got a stud wide receiver. They've got a stud running back. They've got a good offensive line. This is a team that is a quarterback away from not just, like, making the playoffs. They almost did that last year. They're a quarterback away from being a legitimate contender to win it all. And it's like, man, imagine if you could save that money to potentially go out and pay one of these quarterbacks that's going to become a free agent next year, or have that cap space to make a trade to give up some draft picks to bring in a quarterback and, use your cap that way. Instead, you're locking up your cap in this running back. It's the same thing the Giants did when they went and got Saquon. People were like, oh, why did you draft him so highly? And then the Giants are like, well, we can't pay Saquon. We're going to let him walk. Well, their Giants are doing much better now because they let that Saquon walk. Like, yeah, he was good. And yes, he went and won a championship because he signed with a team that was already a contender. But the Giants themselves are in a much better position they are right now than they would have been had they paid Saquon Barkley all that money. And I wonder if, like you said, if either Tua or Penix Jr. is not the answer, then by the time they find the guy who is the answer, this contract's going to make it where they either can't pay him or they've lost too many other pieces.
Yeah. Am I reading correctly here that they extended Drake London to $141 million and Kyle Pitts to $54 million?
I knew Kyle Pitts got a big extension. Yes, Drake London got a 4-year, $141 million deal. Drake London's going to, in my book, he's going to go down as one of the best receivers who never caught the ball. Not because he can't catch, but just because he didn't have anyone that threw it to him, and when they did throw it to him, they were throwing him hospital passes. Getting him hurt all the time.
Yeah, that's just a crazy amount to pay 3 skill positions, in my opinion.
Yeah. And well, I mean, and they're investing all over the board, and they also gave their left guard a 4-year, $96 million deal. So like they are going all in on their offense, which is great if you have a quarterback.
Yeah.
And I just don't think they do. But I mean, at least I guess at least they're spending the money that they got back from Cousins instead of just letting it sit there. So I mean, there's that. We'll see. Look, if Tua plays like the Tua from 3 years ago, the one good season he had where he wasn't hurt, then this deal's fantastic, right? is great because he can play like H.N. played, and Tua can actually throw the ball, unlike Penix, right? So, great. But if that doesn't happen, then I think you've just given this guy what I think is not as guaranteed, but it's actually year-over-year deals like $22.5 million or something. It's like there goes $22.5 million of your salary cap to a running back who's good, who you didn't even make the playoffs with last year.
Yeah. That to give sort of an analogy, it seems like you've built a really nice car, and you're just like an F1 car, and you're just hoping the driver works out into a right.
Yeah. Like you just invested in a really nice coat of paint, but your driver still is blind in his left eye. So that's tough when you only turn left. You know what I'm saying? So all right. So that's my Falcons story. Moving on. Hey Chris, what'd be the worst team to play for if you had to pick one?
Probably the Cardinals.
Okay, well let's take the Cardinals out of it because you're a Cardinal fan. So then what's the worst team to play for? Not the worst team, the worst like organization to play for. I mean, they might be overlap here, but
yeah, the Browns.
Yep, and that is what Eagles rookie Vanessa has said. He's grateful to be an Eagle and not a Brown. Talk about coming up and just straight up bashing the other team. That's crazy. Like, he reached a free agency deal to go be an Eagle and get away from the Browns, and then straight up bashed him right away. That's a wild thing for me. I understand that you don't want to play for that team, but why would you shut that door? You never know what's going to happen in your career, right? Like, what happens 2-3 years from now when you need another contract? What happens if you get hurt and you get cut? You know the kind of teams that go and spend money on players that they shouldn't? Teams like the Raiders and Browns.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's not only heard loud and clear by the Browns; it's heard loud and clear by, I don't know, 8 to 10 bottom teams in the NFL.
And those are the teams who are the ones most likely to let you keep playing and overpay you once you're past your prime. So, yeah, Bull's right. Look, that's the kind of thing, we all know you're thinking it, and you can say it to all your friends, but you don't say it to the media.
That's great. He needs a new PR agent. Maybe he can hire us.
Yeah, for sure. We're available, especially if you want some tequila. Anyway, moving on, a story that you might be interested in, Chris. I want to get your take as I'll say resident Cardinals fan. Miles also a Cardinals fan, but he's more of a guest on the pod. You've become more of a regular. Cards are going to start Carson Beck in the Hall of Fame game, which is basically the opening game of the season, effectively preseason game, just for clarity, not real game, but it's the first preseason game of the season. It's on Thursday, coming up. Carson Beck going to start for the Cardinals. How are you feeling about it? What did you think? I know we've kind of already covered this, but what did you think about him being the draft pick? Do you think there's any chance of him being the future, or are you just convinced that this year is all about tanking and getting the first pick in the next draft?
You read my mind. I mean, if you're in for the first pick sweepstakes of next year's draft, why wouldn't you start Carson Beck? Why would you give your named starter in Jacoby Brissett reps and have him start the season, right? Let's get Carson Beck in there. Let's drum up some news. Let's keep the Cardinals relevant because it sure isn't going to be their gameplay that keeps them relevant. And yeah, let's see what we got in Beck. Who knows? Maybe he'll be a piece that we can trade in the future once we get the first round draft pick in 2027.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point too. It's like, why not see what you have? Because one of two things is going to happen. Your goal is to tank, as it were. Well, no better way to tank than to start a true rookie with no experience. Or, what if he's actually decent, and now all of a sudden you've got your rookie QB and you don't have to use a number one pick on a quarterback, right? I don't know about starting him at the start of the season, but I definitely feel like unless they just know that there's no chance, like not a snowball's chance in hell of Carson Beck being the answer, I think after he sits for, 5-6 weeks, run him out there and see what he can do. Unless of course, the Jacoby Brissett, Michael Wilson train is just absolutely balling out, and they're just too good to bench, and you just let them go and make magic happen, which I don't think is going to happen, but who knows, right? Because they played well together last year. I'm with you. I think you let them. I don't think you started him start the season. I think quarterbacks need to sit nowadays. They're not built the same way they used to be, and even the ones that used to be great, there are very few that started day one as great starters. Most of the great ones didn't come in and start right away. So give him some time. So I think if you let him sit for a few games and then run him out there, and then if he's not it because no one really thinks he is, no big deal. You're trying to tank anyway, and at least you can say like, oh, well, we were trying. We wanted to run this out there and see what we had. And if he does do well, then sweet, play him with house money.
Yeah, I agree. Carson Beck too. I think we may have talked about this I may have talked about this in a prior pod. He was like a 7th-year senior, man.
Yeah, he was.
So get him in there. He's got some age on him. He's a big boy. Let's see what he has.
Yeah, he went from Georgia to Miami. Let's see, 6'4", 220. Let's see if I can see this. Oh, yeah, here we go. Should be able to see his college stat. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah, he played 5 years in college, which, come on now. All these people, and it wasn't because he redshirted, because like he played in these games, you know what I mean? But yeah, now he only played 3 years as a starter, to be fair, but that kind of goes to my point, right? He effectively sat for 2 years before he got his start, and then look what he did.
Yeah, how old is he?
23.
Yeah, he's ready to roll.
Fair enough. I mean, again, I'm not saying he needs to sit all season. I'm just saying maybe don't run him out there week one. That's all I'm saying.
You're also not playing for the first pick sweepstakes in 2027.
Yeah, true. All right, but yeah. Next question: are you excited about football being back? Comes back on Thursday. Now I know it's preseason, not the same, but
Oh, 100%. We've been in the doldrums. We luckily had World Cup this year to carry us over. Every 4 years, we have World Cup and then sometimes the Summer Olympics. And that helped fill the gap this year. But, man, it's time for football. It's been too long.
yeah. I mean, the World Cup was great, but just imagine we didn't have the World Cup. Imagine like how much we would have to suffer through like we did last year. But thankfully we had it. All right. Keeping it on the theme of football, we're going to go to Madden. Now, please don't Google this, Chris, so you can play my little game here. We're going to talk about Madden ratings. The Madden ratings for 2027 have come out. I'm going to keep this exclusive to fantasy football players. So QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end. Okay, I'm not covering kickers. I'm sorry, guys. I'm also not covering defense because, that's not what we do here. So, Chris, in Madden, as you know, they have a rating from 1 to 99. Only 5 players this season were given a 99. Can you guess who any of those players might be? And I will give you a hint because there's so many players. There's no more than 2 of any one position. So it's not like all quarterbacks or something.
Okay. Yeah, this one's going to be tough.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough. But keep in mind, a lot of this is based on how they performed last year.
Yeah.
So not their overall career, but how they did last season.
Yeah. How they did last season, right?
Right. Well, again, that's how the for Madden ratings, last season factors into it much heavier than career. Now, there's some people that career numbers definitely affect their rating. There's some people on here that I would not have had as high based on last year due to injury concerns or whatever. But I would say the top 5 last year definitely played a big part in it.
All right, so let's start with the person we just talked about to start the pod, Bijan Robinson.
No Bijan Robinson. Not only that, no running backs in the 99s this year. Highest rated running back is Jahmyr Gibbs at 98.
That is wild.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to wide receiver, Jackson Smith-Njigba.
JSN is correct. He is number 2 on the board. I mean, with again 99s, so he's still number 1, but there's individual stats, right? So he's technically second overall in overall average, but yes, he's one of the 5 99s. Bijan Robinson's a 95, by the way, Chris.
That's brutal.
Yeah, below Jonathan
After
Taylor.
last season?
Yeah, below Jonathan Taylor and CMC and Jahmyr Gibbs.
That is offensive to Bijan Robinson, but at least he's not getting a curse. All right, so we've got Jackson Smith-Njigba, and we have no running backs. So it's wide receivers, quarterbacks, tight ends, no more than 2 from each position.
Yeah. So now that the thing I was trying to hide was that there were no running backs. Now that that's out there, 2 wide receivers, 2 QBs, and a tight end.
Okay.
You've already named one of the wide receivers.
With the tight end, I am going to go with Arizona Cardinal Trey McBride.
That is correct, Chris. You got a
Huge.
99 on the board.
When you said one tight end, I was like, there's only one that had the performance last year that I think Madden would give a 99 to.
For sure.
All right, the next wide receiver, Puka Nacua.
Close. Puka was another 98.
Amon-Ra.
Not Amon-Ra, surprisingly. Amon-Ra, he was a 95. This is one of those that I think was more overall how good they are, not how good they were last year.
Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase, he's number 1
Okay.
overall with a 99.
All right, so we've got the 2 wide receivers.
Yeah, and McBride was number 5 overall with the 99. So you have 2 99s left. Both quarterbacks.
Yeah, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen is correct. He's number 3 on the board here with a 99. So you have 1 quarterback remaining as a 99 in Madden.
I mean, I have to say him because I think Madden probably loves him. Patrick Mahomes.
It's not Patrick Mahomes. It's someone. This one is definitely based on last season, and I have a comment about it.
Is it Matthew Stafford?
It's Matthew freaking Stafford, Mitch. Start him in your lineup. What are you doing? Number 4 on the board, Matt Stafford with a 99. Which is great because like if you look at their overall stats, like his overall stat, like each individual stat is so terrible, but then like awareness 99, overall 99.
On top of your hint, do you know why I thought of him?
Why?
Because he's like 3 or 4 on the article that Miles sent.
Oh, is he? Yeah. It's like speed 79, strength 66, agility 70. I don't even know what COD is. COD 66, injury 88, but then awareness 99. That gives an overall 99.
Insanity.
That's more of a the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. For sure.
That's tenacity.
Because like
that you couldn't measure.
To give you comparison, Jamar Chase 96 speed, 92 agility, 96 COD, 92 injury, 99 awareness, 73 strength is one low stats. It's like, okay, that makes way more sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he got what 2 starts in DoD.
Yeah, poor guy run the bench, played for multiple teams for us. No love. All right, now we're gonna go the opposite, Chris. There's only one team in the NFL that doesn't have a single QB with a rating of 70 or higher. Who is it?
Give me a second.
Yeah, take your time. So I'll repeat the question while you think so that there's not just dead air. There's only one team in the NFL, according to Madden, that does not have any of their quarterbacks with a rating of 70 or higher. So
I mean, I want to say the Arizona Cardinals.
don't be hating your own team. I'm gonna have to start asking these questions without the Cardinals in mind because you're a hater.
I mean, I just it's
Come on,
hard to watch
think
them.
about just who has nobody that plays QB, even though they have so many QBs.
Yeah, it's got to be the Browns.
It is the Browns. Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders both tied for the team lead with a 69.
Nice. The love them.
Yeah, so that's my little Madden game fun fact of the day. So, Madden ratings are always fun to look at. Now, look, obviously, whether or not these ratings are legitimate, what you agree with them or not, that's neither here nor there. But they are fun to look at, especially if you want to look like and try to compare like fantasy versus reality. They like I said, they have Bijan Robinson as the 4th running back rating at number 9 at 95.
Yeah. I haven't played Madden in probably 15 years, but I can only imagine what it's like playing as the Rams and having Matt Stafford as your quarterback with those numbers, but somehow rated a 99 overall.
Yeah.
Like, does he make miracle plays? Is that what happens on Madden?
Does players always catch? Yeah, because like all those individual stats are awful.
Yeah. So like, what happens when you're throwing with Matt Stafford?
Yeah, as he slowly runs or walks even.
Yeah, and then just like makes a bullet pass.
Yeah. Well, no, his strength wasn't that high.
Yeah, it would be interesting to watch. That's for sure. Someone who still plays Madden. please report back on what it's like to use Matthew Stafford this year.
So there's only 9 running backs with a rating of 90 or higher. So that means RB1s are going to be hard to come by this season. Let's take a look at tight ends because we know the top dog. Let's see if there's any other high rated tight ends on here. Okay, there's only 5 tight ends 90 or above. Okay, Chris, I'm going to give you the first 4 because I think we'll agree on these, right? So these are the tight ends with 90 or above. Trey McBride, George Kittle, Brock Bowers, and even though he's lost a step, Travis Kelce. Okay, those are their top 4. There's one other tight end with a rating of 90 or higher. And I don't think anyone on our pod would pick him. And I know Vinny wouldn't pick him.
You said Brock Bowers already?
Yeah. Trey McBride, George Kittle, Brock Bowers, Travis Kelce. You can come in.
Is it Kyle Pitts?
No, that's a great guess. It's not Kyle Pitts. That'd be someone Mitch wouldn't pick. This is someone Vinny wouldn't pick. Someone that Vinny really despises for losing games.
I'm not picking up the Vinny clue. I don't know who he complains about. Is it Travis Kelce?
He's cost his team a playoff game in 2 of the last 3 seasons.
Is it Travis Kelce?
No, it's Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews.
Okay, yeah. It was either Travis Kelce or Mark Andrews of like 2 tight ends that have underperformed many seasons.
Yeah. All right, let's see if there's anything interesting in wide receiver or quarterback, I guess, while we're here. No, not really. There's some guys that might be higher or lower than we would have them, but nothing really stands out. As far as 90s or above, there's a whole lot more 90 or above wide receivers than there are any of the other categories. And then I guess last we'll take a look at QBs just because we're here in case there's some... You know what? Actually, no. We're going to look at kickers, Chris, because why not? Kickers are fun.
Huge.
Take a look at kickers. No kickers above 90, which that's surprising. Come on now. Just take a shot in the dark. Who do you think's the top... I'll give you top 5. Name one guy you think's going to be a top 5 kicker in a Madden rating.
Aubrey's got to be top 5.
Aubrey's number 1, yeah. I should have taken him out of the running. Isn't that crazy that he's not a 90, though?
Yeah, that when you said there were no 90s, I was like, the only player that might be over 90 is Brandon Aubrey.
Yeah, I was surprised he's not a 90. All right, see if you can give me one more. That was a gimme. I probably should have taken him off the board. See if you can give me one more.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't pay much attention to kickers last year. I can't even remember who I had.
Dang.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. My boy, he's fallen off the face of the earth. My boy, Young Wei Koo.
The Young Ho? I don't even know. Is he even on a team anymore?
I don't know. I don't think he's
on a team. We're gonna find out. I gotta be careful about typing this name though. Don't want my Google search. Is he currently on a team? Looks like he signed with the Jets.
Oh, look at that.
No, actually, I don't think he's on a team right now. Let me see.
Okay.
Well, stats isn't gonna help me out. Yeah, I don't know. His picture, it just says place kicker over here. It doesn't say. Yeah, he got waived by the Giants. Most recent news. So.
Ooh. The only other kicker I can think of right now who I know because he's been in the news for more than just kicking is Harrison Butker.
No, he's above 80, but no, he's not in top 5. Yeah, like I said, kickers is whatever, crapshoot. Chris Boswell, Nick Folk, Jason Myers, and Cameron Dicker are the top 5.
Okay, all right. I gotta do my kicker research in fantasy football. Apparently,
I mean, I take this with a grain of salt. I think one of the best fantasy kickers all season last year was Kaimi Fairbairn, right? And he's like number 10 on the list. So I think for kicker, like, look, yes, these other kickers may have better legs, but he was still out there kicking field goals, and that's what I care about for my fantasy team.
I gotta wonder, like, is Madden, like, I don't know if they're allowed to do this, but, like, do they maybe hit up these guys' agents, like, ask for money to boost the rankings of certain players? Is it like a marketing scheme?
That's a good question, because they probably use it. The players definitely try to use it. I don't know if the agents use it, but the players use it.
Yeah. It's an interesting thought, right? Like, what dictates some of these? Because like it just seems like Madden is throwing shade at some players.
Okay, so there's only 9 quarterbacks rated 90 or above. Same as running back. So QBs and running backs, a little slimmer than wide receiver. Can you throw out some guys you think are 90? I mean, obviously not Josh Allen, Matt Stafford. We've already got those.
Yeah,
But
yeah. So Josh Allen, Matt Stafford, probably Drake May,
Drake May is 92.
Mahomes.
Mahomes 93.
Let me think here. Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert surprisingly is at a 90. I was surprised to see that. I think that's more of a they think Herbert is a better player than what they've put together on the field, which that tracks for the Cardinals
Yeah.
or not Cardinals for the
Did
Chargers.
they give Darnold the respect this year?
They did not give Darnold the respect. They also didn't give Jared Goff the respect yet again. He's only an 88.
Oh man, that's
Darnold an
brutal.
87. Yeah. So he's
Okay.
still got four more. Yeah, four more.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson, number 4 at 94.
Let me see. Sorry, I'm just going through. Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow is number 3 at 97. That was one I was surprised by. Like, he hasn't been a 97 since he took the team, like the year after he took him to the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, he's
Yeah.
good, but he's always hurt. His
Just
team
a,
doesn't do well.
just a side note about Joe Burrow, and like, listen, I get it. He's been injured and he plays for the Bengals, and like, I might catch heat for saying this, but he is the most overrated player right now who has done jack all since his rookie season.
I don't know about. Wait, who has anything since rookie season?
No, no, okay, wait. How many years was Joe Burrow good?
He's had two. He's had 2 great years where he played the whole year.
Okay, 2 great years is what I'm trying to say. How
Yeah,
many
yeah.
years has he played?
It's been a minute. I get what you're saying. It's been a minute. Yeah, yeah. Let's pull up his stats here while we yapping about him.
Dude, he gets so much love from everybody, and I get it. He's cool Joe. I love him too. I love his persona. But man, when you look at his stats, it's like it's worse more often than it is bad. Sorry, it's bad more often than it is good.
Yeah, so he's played 6 seasons in the NFL. He has completed 3 of them, and the first one being his rookie year, or not rookie year. Sorry, he's completed 3 of them. 3 of those, 3 good years. One of them is a great year. I think the reason he's so high was in 2024. He had a great year. That was the nearly 5,000 yard, 43 TD year, where
Okay,
they
gotcha.
didn't even make the playoffs because his team was so bad. And then last year, coming into the year, everyone thought he was going to be great. He only played 8 games. So I think this is more of how well he played prior to injury.
He gets a long leash, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, he does.
Like just generally speaking, there's like especially when people are so tough on certain quarterbacks that quote don't perform, right? Um, I just think he's given a really long leash for some reason. I mean, I get it. Like he seems like a media darling, and maybe it's because he plays for the Bengals. You know, who knows, right? But that's just how I feel about him.
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny. I can hear Mitch or Vinny like yelling through their phones if they're listening to this podcast at a later time.
I mean, like he's great when he plays. The problem is he just didn't play, and that's part of it. All right. Anyway, we got 2 left.
Okay, let me think. Let me think. I just Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts is not the answer.
Okay, 2 more quarterbacks.
2 more quarterbacks, yes sir.
Yeah, is C.J. Stroud there?
C.J. Stroud is not there. He's on a
Yeah, he played
downside though.
awful last year. I'm grasping at straws here. I'm trying to go
All right,
through
let
all
me
the
let me let
quarterbacks.
me give you let me give you some hints. So, one of them is younger. One of them is super high paid.
One is younger. One is super high paid.
One of them made the playoffs. One didn't.
I'm not ready for this trivia apparently. Although I'm glad I got 7 of 9. That I'm in a better position. in my mind, research wise than I thought I was because I thought I was gonna have to do a lot of work here. One is super young. Jaden Daniels?
Nope, close though. Well, not close. Just good thinking though.
Yeah, maybe same draft class.
Not quite. He was a rookie last year.
Why am I blanking on this rookie? Caleb? No, is it Caleb Williams?
It is Caleb Williams
Okay.
coming in with a 90. Yeah, obviously that's not one that I would have picked.
Yeah, he's so far out of my mind. I know he played well last year. I just and he's the yeah, okay, yeah. I'm not a Caleb Williams fan. I mean, we've been over this ad nauseum. Last one. This is the super overpaid one.
Yeah, so I mean I don't know. Yes, I mean he's very highly paid, so you could probably argue he's overpaid,
Okay, he's very high.
especially considering the success or lack thereof his team has had. I'm trying to give. I'm trying
No,
to
no,
think.
I know. I mean, it's probably so obvious. I'm
He
just like I'm
his
trying
number
to.
one wide receiver got hurt last year, and that just made another number one wide receiver.
I give up. This is too much dead air. I'm. There's too much pressure.
They're they're in the same division as Jaden Daniels,
All right.
and you've already guessed Jalen Hurts, so now you got a 50-50.
This is Dak Prescott.
It is Dak Prescott at 91. All right.
Man, yeah. Thanks for all the hints.
Yeah, you only need like one or two. Don't worry about it, man.
Yeah. I'm sorry for all of those who are yelling at this point.
All right, let me find our QBs while we're here. I know you want to know. I know you'll feel really good about it. Where we ranked on this. Fernando Mendoza 74,
Okay.
and Jacoby Brissett 72. We did it.
Mm.
We did it.
Huge.
Also, some of these guys not being done justice. I'm sorry, but saying that JJ McCarthy is above guys like Spencer Rattler and Anthony Richardson, like, yeah, I get they're not good either, but JJ McCarthy was terrible.
Let me ask you this: what's Tyler Show at? Is that how you say his name?
Tyler Shuck? Oh yeah, that's a good point. I think he's 77.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
Okay, respect.
yeah,
He had some good games last year.
yeah. Put some respect on his name, man.
Yeah. How about this? What's Baker from last week?
Baker is wanting to get paid at his 83. Yeah,
Okay,
so we
there
talked
you
about that. We
go.
did. Yeah, so we did talk about that last week. He did come out and say that he felt disrespected by the offer.
I saw
So
that. I saw
yeah,
that after the pod.
so yeah, like right after we talked about it.
Yeah. So I mean, we were talking about this. And he doesn't seem like a guy who's vying for like a top five contract. So when he says disrespected, I have to imagine it's like worse than what the top 10 guys are getting paid.
Yeah, I don't know. Not presented with an offer that's appealing whatsoever.
Yeah, and it's hard to read through the lines because like who knows if that's what his like agent is saying to.
Well, here's his. Yeah, here that's him as agent. Here's his direct quote. That's really the disappointing part, to feel undervalued after thinking you've earned it.
Yeah, it's like it's tough. Like, is that top? Is that like just at the end of top 10 or is it outside top 10 money?
I don't know. And then he said even if the Bucks wanted to negotiate, he's not going to be speaking to the organization, and that his agent, quote, is not going to be bothering him with it unless he's actually recognized for his value. If you've
Yeah,
waited
so
to take this long to take care of your franchise quarterback, that's too bad because it's only going to get worse from here. I'm going to have a really big year. I like it. I like that it's fired him up.
I do. That makes me want to
Hey,
draft him.
hey, here's a question for you. Here's a legitimate question. If you're the Buck, now I'm not saying this is a good idea to not pay your franchise quarterback. We talked about that last time. But if you're the Bucks and by snubbing Baker, you fire him up so he goes out there and has a like Pro Bowl, not Pro Bowl, sorry, what it's All Pro, an All Pro caliber season, and it means that you're going to have to pay him more than you would have. Is it worth it to you because he balled out for you? Like, is having to pay him more worth it if this gives him the fuel that he needs to drive the bus?
I mean, I say no because as we talked about last week, like like, yeah, sure, maybe he balls out, is all pro. The chances of you winning the Super Bowl are still really slim, right? So we can't assume they'll. I mean, like maybe if they win the Super Bowl, then yes, I don't know, but more like way more likely than not, he's not going to win the Super Bowl with the Bucks this year. And then, like we talked about, what if Minnesota makes him an offer, right? What if, like, assuming Kyler Murray doesn't work out, what if another one of these teams that needs a quarterback and has like some really good players, the Falcons, right? What if they offer him a contract and he's not going to feel like any loyalty is owed to the Bucks at all, right?
That's true. I mean, that's very true. But not that he'd have loyalty to them, but like if they come out and the Bucks make it to the NFC Championship game, and then the Bucks come back and offer him real money, like it's gonna be hard to walk away from that. Now, and I'm not saying they're gonna do that. I think if anything, the Bucks are worse this year than last year. They've lost Mike Evans. Now, granted, last year they didn't have him for a lot of the season, but just they don't have the weapons they had last year. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, and certainly not 2 years ago. So it's going to be an uphill battle. But yeah, I get what you're saying, and there is temptation to walk away. But also, if you feel like the situation is good and you're playing well in it, that's really hard to walk away if they do come back and offer you the money, even if you're upset at the front office.
Yeah, but even if they offer money, you can be a giant asshole about it.
No, oh, you absolutely can. But I'm just saying, like, there's a difference between like I don't want to play for this front office, but you do want to play for your teammates, right? And that's at the end of the day, that's who you're with. That's who you're with most of the time, right? That's the guys you're out there doing the practices with, the 2-a-days. Those are the guys you're studying film with. Like, so if you really love your teammates and you gel well with them and you play well with them, it's really hard to then be like, you know what? Because the team snubbed me originally, even though they're paying me now, I'm going to go to some other team and start over. Especially when he's already a guy who's had to start over so many times.
Yeah, just as a, I agree with, I understand what you're saying here, but like as an organization, even though he's the one grinding it out with the players and he has that leadership and the character to continue to grind it out with them if he has a really good year, there's still friction between him and management, right? And I think like with a very good team, a Super Bowl caliber team, if you're trying to set up your team for success, you don't want friction between management and players, right? I mean, I'm not saying that it can't be done, I'm sure there have been plenty of great teams where there was behind the scenes drama with some of their top players, right? But I don't know, like from a management perspective, I just feel like it's probably best to try and keep your star players and like the players who lead that locker room, like Baker Mayfield. It's a better idea to keep them happy, right? Like, because everything we're hearing here says the offer was to him disrespectful. And we don't know what that offer is. We have to speculate, unfortunately. But for him to come out and say that to the media, I mean, it couldn't have been like if they got close and it didn't happen, that's one story, right? But for him to come out and say it was disrespectful, I think that's tough.
Yeah, not just like him to say that he felt undervalued after he felt like he earned it. That you feel for him because he did like yes look, if you're like, well, your last year stats weren't as good as the two before, it's like, yeah, because my top two wide receivers didn't play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, of course my last year's stats weren't as good as the two before that.
Yeah. Yeah, and they
Oh,
just
and sorry, and my running back, my top two wide receivers and my running back all were hurt.
right, right, and it seems like the Bucks are maybe just leveraging that.
Yeah, but I was like, okay, let's look at the 2 years where they were healthy. This is the 2 years where he had healthy pieces around him. You know?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. But yeah, just to answer your earlier question, I just don't think, even if he ends up staying, there's still that history, right? And I'm not sure that that's a great idea to like have your player, your quarterback, your starting quarterback, feel that way, even if he re-signs next year based on his play.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, there's definitely going to be some issues, and I will say this: I don't know who's going to get the worst end of this deal, because I really want Baker to do well. I think he's entertaining to me. His commercials are funny. I like that, like the attitude he has out on the field. Like, I like that kind of player. So I want him to do well. but I think because of the pieces around him, it's going to be difficult to do well. Also, he's in a division that's only getting better, not worse. You know, maybe not the Falcons. They just went and paid a bunch of people that are already on the team, but the other teams are getting better. So we'll see. I don't love the situation for Baker. I get that he's betting on himself, but I think there's a world where he has another 3,500 yard season, and he's right back to where he was when he got bounced out of Cleveland. And I'd hate that for him. I really would.
Yeah, that would be a huge bummer.
Yeah.
Like the guy gives it his all wherever he goes. I think he's shown that when he has the pieces around him, he can perform. And it just seems like, unfortunately, these are the just the management or the business situations he finds himself in.
Yeah, and keep in mind, even though he has had some great years, he's not getting paid well for his position. Now, before people are going to look at this like he's got a 3-year, $100 million deal, he's getting paid plenty. Yes, he is. He's very wealthy. He's doing fine. I'm just saying, as far as QBs go, the first years in Cleveland where he was a savior in Cleveland, he didn't get paid for that. He's on a rookie deal. He didn't get paid to go and be a backup in Carolina. He didn't get paid to go be a backup for the Rams. And even though the Bucs signed him to be a starter, at this point in his career, they weren't paying huge money for a guy to come and play for the Buccaneers that hadn't been a starter in a couple years, right? So, he's never gotten his big payday. Not that he hasn't been paid. He has been. He's a quarterback. They make plenty of money. But you get what I'm saying? He's never had that $40 million a year contract that all these other quarterbacks have.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It might just be one of those situations where the way he's played in the places he's gone, the opportunity hasn't matched with his play, right? The stars haven't aligned for him, because sometimes we see people who we think are not that great, and they get huge contracts just because they play well in the one contract year, right? Baker's almost like the opposite of that, it feels.
Yeah, I'm trying to find where he ranks on yeah, here we go. So he is 16th in pay. So basically the halfway point. 16th. He is literally at the bottom of all the guys you'd consider top tier QBs. Mitch isn't here, so we don't have to call Rodgers a top tier QB, right? But it's look at the guys below him. They're all young guys on rookie deals, or they're not good. Right? Every one of these... If you take out Rodgers, rookie deal, not good. Came in as a backup. Rookie deal, not good. Rookie deal. The literal only actual quarterback he's above is Aaron Rodgers. And that's a guy who we didn't know was going to play to start the season. We didn't know until
crazy.
3 weeks
ago.
Rodgers
and Rodgers has made his bag 2 times over.
Yeah. The only quarterback he's getting paid more than is the guy who signed 3 weeks ago. You know what I mean? Everyone else is getting paid more than him, including Deshaun Watson, by the way.
Brutal.
Yeah, man. I forgot you couldn't see my screen when I was going over this, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I could tell you were going over screen. I wasn't going to say anything, but, that's fine. I could only imagine who you were going through, right?
Yeah, so just, since you didn't get to see, the guys below him were Malik Willis, Justin Fields, Jacoby Brissett. So, those three are, they're not on rookie deals, but they're also, not QBs. Some of them
Justin Fields is crazy.
Yeah, okay. And then, these are the guys below him, but then it's Fernando Mendoza, rookie deal. Cameron Ward, rookie deal. Caleb Williams, rookie deal. Bryce Young, he's just not good. He might still be on a rookie deal too. I don't even know. I don't think so. But he might actually be last year of a rookie deal. I'm not sure actually. Jalen Daniels, rookie deal. Drake May, rookie deal. C.J. Stroud, rookie deal. Anthony Richardson, rookie deal. Marcus Mariota, he's not on a rookie deal, but he's also on his 5th team. Davis Mills, rookie deal. Ty Simpson, rookie deal. Kirk Cousins, he's getting paid so much money to not play in Atlanta, the Raiders didn't have to pay him. So, yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, and someone like Caleb Williams is going to get some insane deal.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, there are guys below him who are going to get their bag. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, maybe even C.J. Stroud if he can put together one more good year. They're going to get their bag. But they're not getting it yet because they're rookies. Whereas Baker Mayfield, he's not a rookie. He's his like 10th season.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, yeah, his 10th season. Or no, I guess 11th. 2022 he played for multiple teams, so 11th season.
Wild. That makes me feel old.
Dude, you have no idea. It makes me feel old all the time. They just all the time like we don't know if Matt Stafford's gonna retire. Matt Stafford is younger than me. I don't need to hear this. Okay?
Yeah.
I don't need to hear this. Aaron Rodgers, this is definitely my last year. At least he's older than me by a year. You know what I mean? At least for the next week.
Yeah.
He's 42 right now. I'm 41. At least for another week. So. Yeah. I still think
Matt
I
Stafford
can
is
sling the rock
wild.
around though.
That's what, 08? Say again?
I still think I could sling the rock. I still think I can throw it around.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can spin it.
Yeah, thanks, Brett. You want to what Matt Stafford? What were you trying to find out? His
I was gonna say Matt Stafford was 08, right? Class of 08?
09.
09.
First
Okay,
overall
yeah,
pick in 09. Yeah,
that's
he's
crazy.
he's 38. So
99 Madden rating.
he's in your ballpark there, Chris. So
Yeah, and he's got a 99 Madden rating, so there's still a chance.
he does, and he's on a 1-year, $55 million deal. Not too shabby.
There's hope for all of us.
Man, I wish
All of us who are 38 and under.
I would clean the toilets with my own toothbrush if I got $55 million for the year. So, oh man. All right. Well, I know you only had about an hour tonight. That's covered an hour. I had another game, but we can save that for next time. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Chris, before we take this off the air and we're done bashing NFL QB contracts?
No. Thank you again for having me. You know, I started as a sponsor, and now I feel like I'm a bit of a regular. But let's hope that Vinny and Mitch can come back next week and give the Delvers what they want.
I mean, you're definitely the chief contributor. You know, hey, let's get that poll going, Delvers. Who do you like on the pod? And you can't vote against me because I'm always going to be here. Deal with it. But of the others, whether it be Mitch, Vinny, my colleague Chris here, or even some of the guests we've had on like Miles, who's your favorite? Who's your favorite to have on the pod? And is there someone you want on the pod that we haven't had yet? Like maybe we should be reaching out to some of these high-profile, big-name guys that we're bashing. Maybe I should reach out to Baker. Maybe he'll want to come on the pod next week. Well, I don't know. We'll see. So let us know who you want to hear from. If you want it to realistically happen, let us know who you want to hear from that's part of the DoD and not celebrity. But still, do what you got to do. And also, you know what we need now, Chris? A nightcap. Maybe a little tequila. What do you think?
Yeah, man. Whenever I need a nightcap, when I want to warm myself up, it's just a little Casamigos without ice. Without ice, it just warms you right up, and it just helps you fall asleep.
All right. Well, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Hope everyone enjoyed the pod, and we will see you next time. We're outie.